Hey there, We Can't Wrestle podcast listeners. If you haven't noticed, we have switched our server to Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So go ahead, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Highly recommended by me and everybody else here at the We Can't Wrestle podcast.
You're listening to the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Now it's time for our host, Kate Manson.
Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the latest edition of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Nate Maxon, your host, here with you. And this week on the show, we're going to be doing one of our free-form shows where I'm just going to invite people in, co-hosts in, and see who joins us and who doesn't. You never know who's going to show up when we do one of these shows. But no set topic, no anything like that this week, just free-forming it. And before we do that, I want to remind you, if you have not yet, please check out WrestleNet Radio. It is 24/7, 365, an internet wrestling radio station. Episodes of the We Can't Wrestle podcast there. We have shows like The Slice of Time, where we talk about 25 years ago in professional wrestling, all the news and notes. Aaron has a show, The Year That Was. Right now it's 1997 that he's discussing week to week, the year of 1997. Of course, Archie Mitchell, and If You Smell What the Arch is Cooking, Maximum Gold with David Gold. And we are now proud to have the Tornado Tag podcast as part of the rotation in WrestleNet Radio as well. Keep listening. Many more things going on. And, of course, episodes of Reliving the Extreme are available as well on WrestleNet Radio. So just want to say that, let you guys know that that is available. You can download it from the apps, the Google App Store, the Play Store, whatever you want to call it, on Google. Your Google, and get an app to listen to the station 24/7, 365. Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm going to try to get my first co-host in here. It's probably going to be Aaron. That's probably what I'm guessing. But again, thank you for joining us once again here on the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Lots of stuff coming up. Don't forget also, we will be in Fort Wayne, Indiana on October the 2nd of this year for the Heroes and Legends of Wrestling show. Very excited for that. My brother Aaron has now joined me here on the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Going to try to get some other folks in here with us as well.
Did you let them know I'm free balling tonight?
I hear the crickets. Aaron's it's like a 1994 WWF TV taping.
That's crickets.
That's the most boring year, I think. At least in that company's history.
In that company it is. The most boring year in WCW is 1995 when Hogan finally started swinging his dick.
Yeah.
That was bad.
It was pretty bad. Well, and it was so fucking cheesy. All of it was so cheesy.
Yeah.
when he goes into the Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah, and it's not even like the Dungeon of Doom stuff. I'm not saying it's boring. It was just a boring promotion at that time. It was stagnant.
Yeah.
It had like Hogan. Yeah, I can see that, Savage, yes, but some of those guys, the reason they weren't with Vince anymore is because Vince knew those guys are old and boring now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect to John Tenta, but nobody wanted to see John Tenta anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was what it was, and Yeah, it was bad.
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
I didn't mean to interrupt your plugs.
Oh no, I was done with that.
Okay.
That's over.
Well, are we gonna get anybody else?
I am working on that.
All right.
It may just wind up being me and Aaron. It doesn't. It's fine. It's okay. I know Archie Mitchell was going to join us, but he has some personal matters to take care of. He may wind up joining if he can make it. We're going to talk for, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours here. Just do some bullshit talking about pro wrestling and any other thing that might come up.
You guys are going to hear me cutting a pizza?
You'll hear Aaron cutting a pizza.
Yes.
You might hear me, leave to go pee. That's what happens when we do one of these shows. But
second shifters, we like me eat dinner at 11.
That's the beauty of retail, ladies and gentlemen.
Thing.
And I have my retail schedule is like a swing shift kind of schedule. Open, close, open. I have no internal clock whatsoever. Like, I try to sleep when I can, but
close. I always close.
That sucks.
It closes 8 o'clock though. I go in at 10. I leave at 8.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Wake up.
You don't have to wake up super early, and you're not at work super late.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
So what was something that you had that you wanted to talk? Because I actually am piggybacking off of you on this one because I was going through, because I just moved, everybody. I'm going through stuff that I haven't gone through in a while. And I got into some old magazines, and I found the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500 from 2001. So we might play the PWI 500 game at some point.
All right. Yeah, whoa. Chad's going to be on in a second.
All right, Chad Austin.
When worlds collide, people. Reliving the extreme, joining together.
Yes, joining forces. Chad Austin from ECW, our co-host for the Reliving the Extreme podcast, is going to be joining us here shortly. We may even have an appearance from the ever-elusive Kyle Army, but you never do know if he's going to make a run-in or not.
Yes.
I did send him an invite, so he has been invited. He has been thoroughly invited to join us this week. So what was on your agenda for this free-form edition of the show?
It was like last minute trying to think of stuff. Why don't we do your PWI thing for a little bit?
All right. So what it is Aaron's done this before on the show. He had an edition of the PWI 500 that he and essentially just had everybody else call out a number, and then you read the bio of the cat that the people call the number out for. So let's see here. What do we got going on? All right. Chad is currently holed up in a hotel in an undisclosed location.
Evading the police.
He said, "What show is this?" Sorry, listeners.
How you gonna edit?
So anyway, all right. So let's see. Aaron, give me a number.
22.
22. I wasn't expecting you to give me a number that high. Flipping through the pages here. Number 22, 2001, PWI 500. Dr. Wagner Jr. 5'9", 215, 15 years, or is it 15 years pro? Let's see. No. Yeah, 15 years pro. Masked Rudo is hated in his native Mexico, but is well respected in Japan. Wrestles for EMLL, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and other promotions. Brother of Silver King and Grand Marcus. All three siblings have enjoyed singles and tag team success. Fared well in the annual Best of Super Junior tournament hosted by New Japan. I don't know if I've ever actually seen a full Dr. Wagner Jr. match.
I can say that I have not.
It's one of those names you know.
Yeah.
You see the name.
Lucha is something that I can say that I'm a novice on, so I don't really know a lot of, you know what I mean? Like, I know the names and I've seen the cats and all that stuff, but I don't know a lot about it. It's not something that was like just on in our region, you know what I mean? Like, We're not West Coast people. There just wasn't Lucha Libre on TV5 in Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah, it would be on Univision sometimes, but you'd never know when. And sometimes it might be on 5 p.m. on Saturday. Sometimes it might be on 3 a.m. on Thursday. You never knew when it was going to be on. I've tried to watch a bit of it as my life has gone on and look at things, and some of it's good. Some it's like any other fucking thing. Chad Austin is here with us. Hey.
Right on, man. I'm walking to my car. I just wanted to click on the link.
Okay.
It's so hot that I'm doing it from my car where I have air conditioning.
We have Aaron's here with me. We're already recording. We're already shooting shit. And what
are we doing? What are we talking about?
Right now, I've got a copy of the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500 from 2001. And
okay.
I was just having Aaron give me a random number, and then looking at who was at that number, reading their bio, what was going on back then with the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500. Aaron,
hang on a sec. If I lose you for 1 second, it's because I'm trying to figure out how to turn off my car stereo.
That's how the sausages are made, people.
I thought maybe Foghat was going to start playing or something. A little slow ride. All right, Aaron, give me another number.
We'll go low.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, I'll just do a little bit of air conditioning at a time. Because I can't figure out how to take the faceplate off my fucking stereo. So it won't kick on.
No, we were prepared for you to be the soundtrack here.
Well, it would be terrible. you don't want to hear what I'm listening to.
Aaron, give me another number.
125.
125. Pro Wrestling Illustrated PWI 500 2001 number 125. Billy Gunn.
Who?
Billy Gunn was 125 in 2001. Let's see. The Dudley Boys severely injured his shoulder by putting him through a table last year. Missed more than 6 months of action before returning to the WWF. Lost the use of his Mr. Ass moniker and failed in pro wrestling, and failed to gain momentum with Billy G as his name. Decided the one was the one. Ate a meatball sandwich at WWF New York during WrestleMania X7. That's in his fucking bio. That's in his bio.
No.
That's fucking fantastic. The name of this episode is going to be Billy Gunn Eats a Meatball Sandwich.
Dude, that's incredulous. That means it's like creative has nothing for you.
Yes. Eat the fucking sandwich. Eat the fucking sandwich. You're the one, Billy Gunn. Why don't you give me all right. Why don't you give me a number, Chad?
348.
348. Number 348. Nathan Jones. 6'10", 330, 2 years pro. I didn't know he was 2 years in 2001. He looked like he was he looks like he was 6 months in 2003.
What, the big white guy?
Yeah, the big Australian. Let's see. This physical wonder towers over everyone else in UPW. Boasts a finely chiseled physique to complement his sheer size. A member of the Ultimate Army, his finisher is the choke slam. He and fellow Ultimate Army member John Heidenreich signed WWF developmental deals. So yeah, he's what UPW is that? That's not the Roland Alexander one, is it?
No. Rick Bassman.
Oh, Rick Bassman. Okay.
Yeah, like we're like Samoa Joe was there and John Cena and all those guys.
I don't know why I thought
the SoCal kids.
Yeah.
So which one was Roland Alexander?
I can tell you that I don't know a whole lot about Nathan Jones, other than I think that he worked at Nathan's hot dog stand. And his name was Jones. They just said, "All right, well, fuck it." Because I mean, clearly, didn't he go back to work at the Nathan's hot dog stand like not too much longer than this?
Well, yeah, he had to have. Didn't they go on a tour to Australia and he just stayed and just never came back?
Yeah. They said he just freaked out and just pulled a Dan Spivey and just went home.
Fuck it, mate.
Well, if you didn't know a definitive answer, you could always ask Bix, because Bix seems to know everything about everybody. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He seems to like, who the fuck does this much homework and research on people and their backstories and all their history and all? When I hear his stuff, I'm like, this guy's got too much time on his hands.
Did you ever listen to Between the Sheets?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. Like, you're right, though. He'll go into this. Like, he'll dig into, like, newspaper articles from like, a newspaper in Casper, Iowa or something. And
I mean, it's not like he's out getting girls or anything. I mean, look at him. He's getting time to sit around and read about wrestling.
I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. I took a whole different turn on him after I heard how Lasto and Cornette felt about him, because I never really thought about him that way, because I was like, well, this kid knows his shit. Mm-hmm. But they were like, he just sits in his mom's basement and watches wrestling all fucking day. And at first I was like, well, nothing wrong with that, but I'm like, that's all he does. Is dig up dirt on people.
And his portly physique tells us that is literally all he does.
I can't wait to see a picture of him, because I wonder if what I'm imagining in my mind is what I'm going to see.
Yeah, it is. You never seen the picture of him?
No, I keep picturing what I want Archie Mitchell to look
like. He might be joining us later on. He had a thing going on there, an emergency. All right, Aaron, give me a number. Do a few more of these.
Let's go with 212.
212.
That's kind of like 2001. That's kind of like a meat, like a meat and potatoes kind of number.
Number 212 in the PWI 500 in 2001. Jamie Noble, spelled with a K here. 3 years pro, 215, 6 foot. Worked as Jamie San in the Young Dragons. Wore a mask to suppress his American heritage. Enhancing his knowledge of the Japanese style by teaming with Kaz Hayashi and Yang helped his game considerably. Heartbroken when WCW released Leia Meow. He was heartbroken. Split from the Young Dragons and found another ostracized star, Evan Courageous, formerly of 3 Count, Teamed with Courageous against Shane Helms and Shannon Moore, has competed primarily on the Florida indie circuit since the WWF takeover of WCW. Great wrestler.
Yeah, good personality.
Who is this?
Jamie Noble.
Oh, I love Jamie Nobley. That I've never called him anything but Jamie Nobley because it just kind of rolls off the tongue. Jamie Nobley.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Chad.
Well, he came through Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of times. He came around. He came around with the Joey Matthewses and the Christian Yorks and the Mickey Jameses, kind of era, Shane Helms, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Before he was anybody, and everybody loved him. He's just like, I don't know. I don't know if he had a problem or anything. Like, what his deal was. I have no idea.
He was
I liked him.
He was very entertaining. Like, I actually liked the stuff he did with Nydia in the WWF. I'm Jamie Noble, baby. I love that stuff.
Oh, the white trash.
Yeah. I thought it was fantastic. And on top of it,
you're also from Ohio.
We know guys like that.
So don't get carried away.
And always great matches. And I think, really, is he still with WWE as an agent?
I think he's still a producer.
Yeah, I think he is too. Because isn't he one of the clowns that run out all the time when they're doing shit?
I think so. In unneeded suits, they're always in. Like why are these guys wearing these suits? I don't understand.
Well, you can't wear. Like, one of the reasons why I never wanted to work for the WWE is because they had a dress code. I don't want a dress code. Like, do you think Matt Riddle wants to wear a suit?
He doesn't even want to wear shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I owned my crab house and I was watching that Nydia and Jamie Noble stuff when they were doing the white trash thing, and yeah, it was very entertaining to me, in my opinion.
They definitely took, and that's always one of Vince's picadillos, is he's always got to have some kind of white trash or a hillbilly or something like that. And that's one of the better iterations, I guess, in WWE history of that whole shtick. Is that, at least in my opinion.
He always wanted one because that's where he grew up. At the end of the day, Vince really grew up a hillbilly, and now he's making fun of those people because he hated it.
Well, Vince?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What college did Vince go to? Didn't he go to
Did he go to he went to military school, didn't he?
But I thought he went to North Carolina or something too, or he may have spent some time briefly, short-lived.
I'm gonna be like Bix and Google it. Let me see.
I was getting ready to do.
Fucking Bix.
Let me slobber on the microphone really quick.
I don't know how fucking Chris Zellner puts up with that nonsense. Because anytime I listen to a show where they cover anything that I was on, they always say, "Friend of the show, Chad Austin." No, I'm a friend of the show. I love Between the Sheets. I just don't like
too.
Bix.
Let's see here.
I can't wait for Bix to hear this. If he even listens. I'm sure he listens.
He attended Fishburne Military School in Waynesboro, Virginia. Vince McMahon. In his early life, he also overcame dyslexia.
Vince?
Yeah, apparently. Well, according to Wikipedia,
came back.
Aaron could have edited that for all I know, but
Why would I edit that Vince McMahon had dyslexia? I can't speak.
Dick's what?
Well, in this case, it would be Vince-lexia. Because he is kind of doing everything backwards. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know what the fuck. Like Miss Jess, she always gets on me about why I watch Monday Night Raw. which I hear possibly could be going to 4 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's not happening. At least not in my marriage. It's not happening.
I watched the Hulu version. I haven't seen a 3-hour Raw since like 2015, but I can't imagine 4 hours of that show.
Yeah. What I do is I'll stay up from 8 to like 9:30 and see what they're planning,
Mm-hmm.
and then if something grabs me, they're gonna do like because I was very interested in what AJ Styles and Matt Riddle like last week.
Right.
But I had to stay up for 11 o'clock for that. What would they do? Move to 7 o'clock and go to still,
Yeah, well,
11?
especially since they're back in arenas now. And yeah, I mean, you have a show that runs till midnight for what you're purporting is for families to come to. That's a risky proposition.
To say the least. So they would have to bump it up an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one thing that AEW is doing right is by having the YouTube shows. Because I don't know about you guys, but didn't we all love the syndicated programs?
Absolutely.
Came on like random, Power Hour, that kind of stuff. Like,
mm-hmm.
why don't the Vince do a syndicated program? Because I mean, nobody watches Main Event, and not Main Event, but yeah, Main Event. And fucking for Christ's sake, I couldn't tell you the last time I seen 205 live. I don't even know if it was still a thing. I didn't know it was still a thing until somebody brought it up the other day, and I went 205 live.
I didn't even know the Main Event was still a thing.
I didn't know 205 was still alive. And then the main event is Jeff Hardy every single week, like losing to somebody.
What the fuck is going on?
If you're gonna bury him, just let him go.
Yeah. Aaron, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that I don't watch a lot of the current stuff. If something, I read something, I'm like, oh, I might want to watch that, so I'll check it out or whatever. But Chad's right about AEW. They're doing it right. They do Rampage is an hour, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dynamite's only 2 hours, and they don't have a fucking pay-per-view every goddamn month like WWE does.
Weeks.
So they can build shit and put things on their TV show and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I'll say that Tony Khan's doing right is kind of going back to the way it was, like when it really worked.
Yeah, I like that too. I mean, I don't even know why Vince don't even do a YouTube show.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't even know where to find Main Event or as much as I would love to watch NXT UK. Do you know how many hoops I got to jump through to find it?
Especially
I got to speak into my remote and go Peacock, and then somebody will hear me say it, that they'll think I'm getting naked in the front door, and then I got to find it and go to WWE, and they don't label it like the old network did, where you can just scroll down and see, you know what I mean? The territories.
Mm-hmm.
You got to search it out.
I totally miss the way that the old network was set up. Like, absolutely miss it. Like they found a groove with that actually appealed to, I think, people like us for as far as searching things out and watching things in chronological order. And yeah, the Peacock network, that shit. Somebody's got to figure. They want to set up the WWE part of it like they set up everything else.
There you go. It ain't working.
No, it's not. I mean, I liked it better when I paid $10 a month to go on the Fire Stick. Right. But now I get it for free because it's part of my cable package. Because I have Xfinity, so it's part of my cable package. So I get it for free, and I'm just like, there's nothing in here I want to watch.
Because even if there was, I wouldn't be able to fucking find it.
Yeah, because then you have to, after you find the WWE Network, you have to go back up to the search bar and go back into the search mode, and then type in just say Mid-South.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you're hoping that it doesn't give you some bullshit Netflix show.
That's what I was about to say. Give you some serial sitcom from.
Did you say Queen of the South? You're like, no, I said Mid-South. Piece of shit.
Why is this Reba show on? What is going on?
Yeah, well, I also get Lifetime as part of my subscription to the Peacock.
Let's see. Let's do a couple more of these. Somebody give me a number.
329.
329. 329. Oh, good. An indie guy. Rick Diesel. Deezel. 6'2", 215, 13 years pro. Named director of the 13 affiliates of the Allied Independent Wrestling Federation. Inspired hatred by making sure his cronies kept the major championships. Competes primarily in the Mid-Atlantic area. Has held the AIWF heavyweight and tag team titles 4 times each. Anybody know anything about this cat?
Never heard of him.
Just from what you told me. He was the kingpin of the Allied
Fuck yeah.
promotion people.
The Allied Hambone promotion. Are you kidding me?
Aaron, you give me a number now.
He got to an added addition to his fucking camper after he got that. He's living in.
Aaron, give me a Aaron.
$20 a month. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say, give me a number because none of us know anything about this Rick Diesel dude.
Never heard of him.
160.
Ooh, that's going to be somebody we know.
Yeah.
In 2001, I'm going to say somebody like Bryan Danielson.
Dragon Kid.
Well, I had half of it right.
Let's see. Protege of Ultimo Dragon, hones his high-flying skills with Lucha Libre group Toramon. Aerial Innovator has been called the Rey Mysterio Jr. of the new millennium. I guess that didn't pan out.
Yeah,
Who was this? 2001.
It's like 1 year in.
Was this?
Right
Did this guy ever become somebody else? And I just don't know who it is.
No.
Dragon Kid doesn't ring a bell. It's not. It wouldn't be Laredo, right? Laredo's a much younger guy, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be him because he'd be in his 40s by now. So no, I don't even know who that is. I'd rather much more know about Rick Diesel. He sounds more interesting than the Dragon Kid.
Let's see. Actually, it looks like he has pretty much, looking here on Wikipedia, it looks like he's pretty much stayed in Japan and wrestled for Dragon Gate and et cetera, et cetera.
So basically nobody else would book
Pro. So, yeah, I don't know.
All right, how about How about 471?
Oh, it's gonna be a doozy.
Oh, yeah.
I like the low numbers.
I guarantee that ICW is going to be on his resume. Yeah, he has to be.
Adam Jacobs.
See, exactly. I don't even know who that is either.
He advanced to the final of the NWA Wildside Junior Heavyweight Title Tournament. Formed a new version of the American Males with Silky Boom Boom.
Oh, there we go. I mean, are we going to do a Hambone Hall of Fame for this show?
Him and Silky Boom Boom were like, look, who's your favorite tag team? What was this guy's name?
Adam Jacobs.
Adam Jacobs saw Silky Boom Boom in the locker room. He was like, hey, Silky Boom Boom, who's your favorite tag team ever? And Silky Boom Boom was like, American males. And he was like, fuck yeah, that's mine too. We're best friends now.
Hambone Silky Boo Boo. Was that his name? What was his name? What was his name?
Adam Jacobs. And then, well, let's see the story continue here. Adam Jacobs turned against Silky Boom Boom.
Oh, Silky Boom Boom.
To join John Phoenix and Air Paris in Suicidal Tendencies.
I remember Air Paris, but I don't know any of these other people.
Yeah, I know. I remember Air Paris too. That was a Burt group, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was in he went to WCW right before it died, and I think he was with AJ.
He was.
AJ was there for a minute, and they were like Air Raid or whatever, and then WCW went out of business like 2 months later.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because of Silky Boom Bottoms, whatever his name was?
Silky Boom Box.
check out my Silky Boom Box.
Like I could only imagine if he was a heel. I don't know if he was a heel or not, but if he was a heel and just the signs, you would say, in the crowd, Silky Boom Box.
How many more do you want to do, guys?
I want to know what number Silky Boom Boom is. There's the alphabet at the back of it. There's an alphabet at the back of it. See if he's listed.
Well, I think in 2001 I had a better chance of making the 500 than Silky Bottoms was doing whatever. Silky Bottoms. Silky Bosoms. As a matter of fact, I think it will be called Sunny when she worked in ECW.
Silky Bosom.
Sorry, Aaron. Silky Boom Boom did not make the 500.
What about Tad? Did Tad make it?
I never made it.
Yeah,
500?
What's
never?
that? No, I got beat out by Donnie Allen one year.
What the
because
fuck?
Donnie Allen became friends with Bill Apter. Because it's all work anyway.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, Chad. Did guys actually look forward to that? Like looking to see where they were at on the list?
Oh yeah, I totally think they couldn't wait for that issue to come out and see where they ranked. And I got them all because I had a subscription, but I never made it because I never hung out. I mean, I know Bill Apter, we were friends and that kind of stuff, but it wasn't like I kind of trumped my idea to hey, put me in. Right. I figured if my body of work that nobody recognized it and Silky Bosoms made it or whoever Rick fucking Jacobs, whatever his name was, he made it. I'm like, well I done more. That 2001 is pretty much when I came back after a couple of years of not working. And I started doing some of the best work that I ever did. But whatever. I don't harbor any ill feelings. I wasn't better than Silky Bottoms.
Silky Boombox.
Oh, God. All right, somebody give me... how many more you want to do?
I'll keep going however long you want. You're running this show, man. You're the...
All
right. Do 500. Do 500.
We'll do 3 more. We'll have 4 more. We'll do 4 more.
Right.
500 is Bill... Oh, no, that's not. I'm sorry. That's $4.99. 500 is Pepper
Tommy
Parks.
Cairo. No?
No. Pepper Parks.
Pepper Parks.
Pepper
Parks?
Yes.
Well, isn't that one of the Dork Orders guys?
I don't think so.
I remember the name.
Yeah, isn't he the butcher?
He's got. Oh no shit! Is he really? Because okay. So
while you guys talk about it,
the thing here, he's got this. Of course, 500 always has their picture in here. In his picture, he's got pigtails.
Yeah, I remember that. He is. He's the Blade.
Oh, all right. Claims to be the world's greatest heterosexual male cheerleader.
That's unbelievable.
Competed in the cruiserweight and tag team divisions of the Heartland Wrestling Association, aligned with the Jablonski brothers, who provide muscle.
Chet and Jet, right?
Yeah.
Chet and Jet.
Chet Jablonski boys. Oh my God! Yeah, my cousin who runs shows, he was telling me about Pepper Parks, and I'm like, I don't know who the guy is. And he's like, he's one of them guys from the Dark Order, and I'm like, well, none of them are any good. So, and you're telling me it's 2001?
Yeah, he is. Let's see, he's only 1 year pro because it's 5'11", 185 pounds, 1 year pro. So. He's a rookie at that point, but yeah, 20 years ago.
I like his music much more than I like his work. Like he's in like a metal band, like a thrash metal band, kind of like a almost kind of like I don't know how to play my instruments. I'm just gonna bam, 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 bam.
but somehow it's gonna work.
Yes, but I thought that was better than the Butcher thing. I don't fucking know. It didn't do it for me, and the best thing he could have done was got injured, in my opinion. Because it's doing us all a favor because it all looks stupid. The Blade looks stupid. The Bunny, for Christ's sake, what the fuck? What did she get lost and walk to the ring by accident? I mean, she looks like she has no idea what she's doing out there. Yeah, it's not good.
Well, I learned something today because I didn't know that Pepper Parks was in AEW.
Well, he's not right now. He's injured. I guess he's injured because he's
Yeah, but it's AEW. Everybody gets a check.
Yeah. But you said in 2001 he was 5'11", 100 and something pounds?
185.
Yeah, well, 2021 he's 5'11", 320 pounds. And he's injury prone and he looks like fucking shit. He looks like a mess if somebody would have presented a mess to be presentable and put it all together and said this is a mess, but this is this guy. I mean, I wish all the best for him because from all accounts, from what I hear, he's a totally nice guy. But he might want to stick to his music career and his thrash metal death band stuff than being aligned with the Bunny and the fucking Blade, whoever that fucking guy is.
Well, let's be honest. With all the people they're hiring right now, the immense amount of hiring they're doing right now and contracts they're giving out, guys like that are probably going to fall off anyway. Honestly,
you think?
The low hanging fruit's going to fall off. Because you can only have so much talent. I mean, Lanny Poffo stayed home for 3 years and got paid by WCW because you can only feature so much talent.
Well, I mean, I agree, but I'll tell you what, my buddy Jeff that works at AEW, he told me that that they're really none of them guys are under contract. Like there's only like 40 people that are under contract.
So everybody else is just night to night?
Right. So
wow.
Yeah, like Jeff was like, besides the guys like Cody, the Bucks, all them guys, there's like 40 like actual employees, like from AEW. Everybody else is basically night to night kind of thing, and we'll throw you on Dark or look what happened to that guy. I don't know, the guy that looks like Bruiser Brody, but nowhere near as talented. What's his name? Commander Rado, whatever his name is.
I don't even know if I've ever seen him. Was he on Dynamite at all?
I think he's exclusively on Dynamite.
Okay.
It's the YouTube Primetime channel. Because, I mean, it's the same show as Primetime was with Heenan and Gorilla, except they didn't have Heenan and Gorilla. It was all kind of like glorified squash matches.
Okay.
And he was big part of that. He come out with a straitjacket on, and I thought, like, wow, this guy's got a great thing going on, but he's just got to fucking learn one thing, and that's how to fucking work.
It's kind of important. Maybe. All right, Aaron, give me a number.
230.
230.
That should be somebody interesting. 2001.
230 in 2001. John Cronus.
Okay. Wow.
I think, let's see, I think he was an XP. Let's see. He would have been XPW now at this point, I think. Former ECW tag champion and longtime partner of Perry Saturn jumped to XPW in October 99. The enforcer of Rob Black's army, deals with major threats but tries to squash minor ones. So this brings me to a point, Chad. What did I actually? We have the We Can't Wrestle Hall of Shame instead of Hall of Fame, and a couple of years ago, I inducted the entire promotion of XPW into the Hall of Shame. What was your opinion on XPW?
I haven't seen a lot of it. I have a bunch of commercial tapes,
but
did they have TV, like regular TV?
No, not that I ever knew of it. I saw most of the stuff that I saw was the commercial tape stuff too.
Okay, so basically it was all like what would be an ECW house show where they would just do all the big surprises and the big like spots and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan because I just didn't get it. I just like half these guys were guys that Paul got rid of for a reason. Wasn't that like Vic Grimes kind of shit?
Yeah, Vic Grimes and
New Jack.
Shane Douglas was there for a minute.
Oh, well, where isn't Shane Douglas? Doesn't he still work at Walmart or something?
Target,
yeah. He has to, I can't believe Shane has to request off like twice a month because he has to go do wrestling. and he's got to tell his like Target boss, I need off. He needs the
convention. He needs the conventions off.
It's the holiday season. I know. We're running shows. I gotta go. I gotta be in fucking Hambone.
Like, what's the best run of your career, Shane? Target.
Yeah.
Had benefits.
That's the most consistent paycheck he's probably ever had. Jesus. Like, at least he knew he can go to the mailbox every 2 weeks when he worked for Target. Because that check that he got from Paul didn't even have enough money to put a stamp on the envelope.
No,
direct deposit.
So
yeah.
XPW is terrible. Like, it was like everybody it was just bad. Like even when I would watch the videos or whatever, even then I was just like, this is not good. Like, they had like Pogo the Clown and fucking Supreme. You guys remember Supreme?
Yes,
I think so.
The short fat guy. It was fucking trash.
Didn't he have like Trailer Park Boy or White Trash Tony or something?
Homeless Jimmy? Was it Homeless Jimmy?
Homeless Jimmy was there.
I'll take it, sure. I bet he there was as well.
There was that Messiah guy that got in trouble with like drug dealers or something.
Yeah, they cut his thumb off. They cut his thumb off.
Well, that's always good for your company.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the wrestling business, if you're seeking publicity, what you want to do is you want to get Meltzer to see your product. You want Meltzer to review it so everybody finds out who you are. But when the guy fucks over a drug dealer and they cut your thumb off, that's probably not the publicity that you're looking for. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know.
I'm like, dude, were you in the Horsemen? He's like, no.
Yeah. I bet you when he goes to the Legends of Hambone convention, he's going to pretend like he was.
All right, Chad, we'll do two more. Chad, give me a number.
All right, see. I'm trying to think 2001. I don't want to go too high, and I don't. Apparently, after Rick fucking Boom Booms, I don't want to go too low. How about 309?
309. Let's see here. 309 is
Low key.
John Phoenix.
Again, is related to Ray? Is that his brother?
He's the guy. I'm going to give you another go, Chad, because this is the guy that was with Air Paris and Adam Jacobs after Adam Jacobs turned on Silky Boom Boom. This story in wrestling that I never knew until today. What a plot twist! Yeah, it's so intriguing.
All right, well, I'll try to shake it up a little bit, and I'll go a little bit higher.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to think 2001, because I really don't have a great grasp. Because that's pretty much like when John Cena was starting, right?
Yeah, he started in 01 or 02, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with 176. So it's probably somebody we know.
176 is...
Silky Boom Boom.
Again? He made the 500 twice?
Donovan Morgan. Let's see. 5'10", 225, 5 years pro. Lost the All Pro Wrestling Universal title to Vic Capri.
That probably stifled his career.
That's what you were thinking about when you thought about that Rotund Alexander. That's what you were thinking about.
Oh, APW?
The All-Pro, yeah.
What was his name again? Vic Capri or something?
Donovan Morgan is the guy we're talking about.
Donovan Morgan.
He beat Vic Capri, though.
I think I can picture him in my head of what he looks like, but
he was in that.
And
he was in work. He was in that crew with like Mike Modest and.
Yeah, it says here he teams with Mike Modest, and it also says he received the Future Legend Award from the Cauliflower Alley Club. So they were a little off. They were a little off that year in 2001.
They should have deemed him the future Hambone Hall of Fame award winner, because that's as close as he's getting to any sort of Hall of Fame as far as I'm concerned. Donovan Morgan. Good
Donovan
job.
Morgan.
Didn't he end up going to WCW?
It doesn't say anything about that in his bio here. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. He could have been one of those guys that was there at the end, that was like with Air Paris and AJ and.
Oh, he reminds me of
Mike Modest was even there, wasn't he?
Mike Modest was in WCW. Scott Steiner. I remember Scott Steiner beat the fuck out of him on Nitro.
Yeah, he reminds me of a Mark Jindrak, Sean O'Hare type. That's the picture I got in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Was he one of them guys? A big guy?
Let's see. Well, no, it says he's 5'10", 225.
Oh, so he stunk. I got you. Never mind. I would have thought if he was at least a big guy. I'd rather go back and talk about Nathan Jones again. He's
more like a Sky Lolo.
Sky Boom Boom.
Sky Boom Boom. He hits you with the silky skies and it's over.
Right. He's farting through silky boom booms.
Yeah. Aaron, give me a number.
What? I'm not gonna give you a number, but I'll give you a number. But I was just thinking about like Silky Boom Boom probably works at the Target that Shane Douglas is a manager at. Silky Boom Boom.
Oh yeah, I
wouldn't doubt it. He works in the sporting goods department.
I was gonna say Shane looks at the bathroom checklist, on the door, and it says SBB, so he knows Silky Boom Boom did his job that night.
So Shane would go in there and use the hand sanitizer because he realized that Silky Boom Boom. I can totally see that. And he probably got the job because I don't know, because he probably knew somebody there anyway.
It was Donovan Morgan, actually. They all work at the Target together with Shane Douglas.
I'd much rather do a whole entire show about Silky Boom Booms or whatever his name is. Silky Boom Boom.
Sticky Boom Boom.
Sushi Boom Boom?
Sushi Boom Boom.
Snoochie Boochies? What?
Snoochie Boochie Boom Booms?
It's like fucking baby talk over here.
I think even Jay Sully could have fun with that fucking
Sully Boom Booms. That's his new name, Sully Boom Booms.
And he's still here?
He's in the ham bone.
Yeah.
He's immortalized.
Dude, if you could find a picture of fucking Silky Bottoms, whatever his name is, and make him ham bone elite.
I'll do it.
Of course you will.
I can make it happen.
We know you will.
It only took you a day and a half to find the Bob Roop in his All-American singlet to make him ham bone elite. I mean, I can't believe it. Like, literally, if it wasn't for the fact that pork is ham. So I was like, well, who better than Pork Chop Cash? Like, nobody's a bigger ham bone than Pork Chop.
He's literally a ham bone.
Yes, he is. A bone in. It even comes with a bone.
I
You can't get any better than Pork Chop Cash as far as being a ham bone. My turn?
Huh?
My turn?
Well, Nate left for a minute. Left his post.
I'm still trying to figure out how to take my fucking stereo off so I can turn the car on and have the air conditioning. The front plate of my stereo, I don't know how to get it off, but I turn the car on to get air conditioning, and the Bluetooth kicks in. So when you hear me cut in, cut out, because I'm starting the car up, because I'm charging my phone, and I want to get air.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture.
You trying to find a picture of Silky Boom Boom?
Yeah.
I kind of figured you would.
In the meantime, Aaron, give me a number. We'll do one more, and then
Well, I think it's Chad's turn.
Oh, Chad. And then we'll roll on to whatever Aaron had in his arsenal.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything, so we're just going to keep doing this?
We are whatever.
Yeah,
all I can do is all night long. We all
right,
500.
We'll do this for another hour. We'll call it a show. It sounds good.
All right. Well, I mean, since we realized that the further down the line we get, we don't know anybody. Like besides Sweaty Bottom, whatever his fucking name was. We're gonna. How about number 99?
99.
Oh my god.
Earlier, Aaron found a picture of Silky Boom.
And I bet you it's every bit as what you imagine.
And more.
Like,
is it like Mr. Ooh La La?
That's exactly what my next word was going to be. Maybe he should form a tag team with Mr. Ooh La La Silky Bottoms. Sweaty.
They can call a team Ooh La Boom Boom.
I like the name Sweaty Booty. Wow, Mr. Ooh La La and Silky Bottoms as a tag team. I can just imagine. It's got to be a combined weight of, we can't tell because they're too big to get on the scale. We can't find the scale big enough for them. Or they had to take them to like one of them horse farms. Where they're gonna pick them up from the underneath.
And send a picture to you guys.
and you see Silky's udders hanging down from the harness that they put him up in.
See, I'm looking at the picture here. That oh goodness.
I bet you it's goodness. Once I get back up into the room, I am definitely going to fucking look up Silky.
There he is, Chad.
Sweaty bottoms.
Can you see him?
I can see him, but I can't see it clear. I need to see a full. I want an 8x10. Yeah. Oh, that's Silky Boom Boom there. That's sweaty bottoms there. Sweaty bosoms.
With the outfit, it looks like his name should be Velvet Boom Boom. All right, number 99.
Look like the Bland Wizard.
God damn. That popped me.
That was 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome, Aaron. That was good. Chad said number 99. Number 99 is Al Snow.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess nobody's going to have a bad word to say about Al, right?
I actually, Al's a fantastic wrestler, and he was always like when I actually, where he's from in Lima, Ohio, I used to run a GameStop store there, and he would come in there at like 10 in the morning to shop, and because he knew he knew that if he came in the mall earlier in the morning, there wouldn't be a bunch of people there because this was during his time in WWF, and he was always super cool, like as a person, to me as a customer.
If he didn't put the head backwards on his forehead and carried a mannequin in his hand, probably nobody would have knew who he was anyway.
True.
He probably walks in there and is like, "What does everybody want? Games.
Mario.
What does everybody need? Games." I know. I like Al. You know what? Do you know? I saw a Florida TV show from like 1980. I don't know, one, and he was a job guy on there.
No shit.
Yeah, like because I know he started in like the 80s.
Yeah, well, okay. This is 2001, and this says he's 19 years pro. So yeah, that adds up.
Yeah, and he was a jobber at the same time that when Barry Horowitz was using the stick of either Shane Hart or Barry
Bret Hart.
He wasn't he wasn't Bret Hart.
Okay.
Bret Hart with 2 T's.
3 T's.
Bret Hart.
Yeah, but yeah, I when I saw that, I was like, well, as a matter of fact, I think you guys might know this. I think he worked for the Bruisers company in WWA.
He did
back in the early 80s.
Mm-hmm. And I think at that time, well, yeah, and I think he actually just went by Sarvin by his last name, by his real last name.
Sardine?
If I remember correctly. Al Sardine.
Is he related to Dan? Don?
Jardine.
The sardines. They roll them out in the can.
No spoiler, but
we don't trust these guys. They seem kind of fishy.
Oh, God damn.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Welcome to the dad joke edition of the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus. Like I could just imagine them wheeling them out in a big can, and then their manager like does the whole entire unrolling it. The Sardine Brothers.
They could have a totally different take on the casket match.
Oh, it's the sardine match. You got to get them out of the ring, put them in the fucking sardine can, and then you got to roll it back up with that little key thing. It's always
and they have to at some point they have to be seconded by at least one of the bushwhackers.
Or yeah, I guess yeah. Or some woman to give you a bad name too, because it's got to run. It's got to be something fish related.
Aaron, give me a number.
Sticky fish.
We've gone low. Let's try high. Let's go double digits. Who was 50?
Ooh.
Number 50.
Hang on. Let me take a stab at this.
All right. 2001.
2001. I'm going to go somewhere around. I'm going to say somewhere around the CM Punk era. I would say maybe Colt Cabana.
I think 50 might be
A little high.
Yeah, for Colt.
Or is this just me?
I think 50 might be like Perry Saturn.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're playing 7 Degrees of Perry Saturn, you're pretty damn close because number 50 is Eddie Guerrero.
Wow, boy.
I thought Eddie would have been higher. But he did. No, I was going to say he did get hurt, but he got hurt earlier.
No, that was 2000. Well, actually, he is out, I think, at this point, by the time this is ranked anyway, because at the end, plans to return after dealing with personal problems. So I don't know. Didn't he have an accident or something in 2001 or some shit like that?
No, that was 99. He fucking rolled his car. He was drunk and rolled his vehicle.
Yeah, we used Eddie quite frequently when he was on his I'm back on the wagon tour.
Mm-hmm.
And he was fine, but it didn't take long, honestly. It didn't take long for him to get back into the I'm on the road again, and
right.
I'm going back to like the shit that I knew and blah blah blah. And he was always a perfect guy to deal with in the company that I worked for. I do remember one time we brought him in to work with one of our local talents who was kind of like one of our push guys. And after the match was over, Eddie come back to the locker room and he yells at the promoter, Mr. McDevitt, and he yells at him, "Don't ever book me against a piece of shit like this guy again." And everybody was like, he said it in front of the whole entire locker room. So you can imagine what the guy felt like that he was referring to. Like, what? and we were looking at him like, he's one of our most pushed guys. Like, he was just like, he can't fucking do shit. He can't listen. Because he was one of them guys that had to go over the whole entire match before you go out there kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie was just like, no, we're on an independent show. We'll call it in the ring, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, then I'll do this. Then I'll do that. And Eddie was like, okay. But, Eddie was just like, fuck this, man. This guy stinks. But, I never had a bad word to say about Eddie. And when he came into ECW, he was always great to everybody. Because I remember when they brought him in, I was at one of the B shows, like one of the Friday night shows before the arena.
Mm-hmm.
That they brought him in because he was going to do this, the Saturday night at the arena, and then they started doing the tapings on Sunday. The $5 get you in the arena on Sunday for the tapings, and he was just like happy to be there. But that was when, like I said, when he was on the wagon.
When he was working the indies at that time, did he? I don't want to say. Did he carry? He carried himself like one of the boys, and not like he was better than anybody else on the show.
No, not at all, man. No, he was one of the boys. Like, you can always tell by how one of the guys like that walk into a locker room if they're one of the boys. Because like one of the first things that we ever learned when I was breaking in was you always go into the locker room, and if it's a new locker room, like people you don't know,
right?
You always introduce yourself to everybody there, and even if they know who you are, I'm Eddie Guerrero. Nice to meet you. And then you shake everybody's hand, and that kind of stuff. And that's what Eddie did. Like I guess I was never around Eddie when he was not the right Eddie. You know what I mean?
Well, I've never heard anybody say even when he was, I guess I'll just say it. Even when he was fucked up, I've never heard anybody say he was a prick or anything like that. It's just he was, I guess, a little more unreliable or what have you when he was on the wagon or when he was off the wagon.
Yeah, I never heard of him. I never heard of him. Could you hear me?
I can now, yeah.
Yeah. Was he known for did he no-show stuff?
No. That's what I was saying. I've never heard even with his issues. You hear about guys with issues and how when they're fucked up or whatever, they're more difficult to deal with or what have you. From everything I've ever heard, even when Eddie was succumbing to his demons, I guess you'd say, he was never a prick and never hard to deal with.
I don't even know what Eddie's problem was. Was it alcohol or was it drugs?
Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his deal was alcohol.
Yeah.
No, that's my deal.
Me too.
Yeah.
Eddie's was drugs, or not drugs, sorry, it was alcohol. And I mean, I think I don't want to say, yeah, he did, but I know he did steroids, but that's not what it's all about. But his drug of choice was booze.
I remember. Oh my God! I remember. Eddie. Yeah, he didn't drink beer. I don't think. I don't think I saw him drink beer. I think he had a concoction in his a milk crate or something, like a milk jug.
Mm-hmm.
That he would drink out of. But as far as I know, because I didn't hang around a lot like that. But I never hung out at the bars after them shows. But yeah, he didn't seem like he was a drinker then. Because like I said, I think he was on the wagon.
Right. Aaron, give me a number.
Come on, give us somebody good.
212.
I think you already picked 212.
Did I already do 212?
Yes.
Okay.
You ought to play that in your Ohio lottery.
250.
Halfway. The halfway point. 2001 PWI 500. There's somebody out there that has this. Sorry. There's somebody out there that has this as the nickname for their dick. Otto Schwanz. Sorry.
Isn't he in NXT UK?
Otto Schwanz? I don't think so.
Oh. No, that's Walter. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, so known as Bo Dup while teaming with Jack Dup in ECW. The Dups had bad habit.
I wasn't around for any of the Dups. I'm sorry I missed them. Because I would have loved to have been around for the Dups.
Well, apparently this guy was a complete schwanz anyway, so you probably didn't want to meet him.
Otto Schwanz.
Otto Schwanz.
My favorite duck name was Stan. Stand Up.
Stand Up.
That was my favorite one. Stand Up. What was this Dup? Is this
This is Bo Dup.
Is Bo Dup the one that took
It's what?
Stacey Carter away from Lawler?
Otto Schwanz is blah blah blah.
No, Lawler. When Stacey Carter left Lawler, she left him for one of the Dups, and I think it might have been that guy.
Like jacked up.
She liked his Otto Schwanz. Apparently.
Well, that's kind of the fucking price you pay when you like to see your girl get hammered by some other guy. like I've always been trying to tell Jess we need to entertain. Like maybe we should do some other kind of like get somebody else involved. And I'm thinking like one of her friends, and she's thinking like one of my friends. And I'm like, well, I don't want to see Chris's Otto Swans.
You don't cross the streams. Have you ever seen the Ghostbusters? Jesus.
Otto Swans.
Are you looking that up, Aaron?
Yes. Yes. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm still trying to figure out how to take my faceplate off my fucking stereo so I can turn the air on and not get you on Bluetooth. Like, I have a feeling that nobody's going to be able to steal this goddamn stereo if they broke into my car. If I can't get the thing out of here. I think I turned the power off. I don't fucking know because I need air conditioning in this bitch. I'm dying over here. Otto Swans is getting all sweaty boom boomed.
We're letting Aaron do his research here.
Oh, no, guys, keep talking. Keep talking.
All right. Well, now that we've covered Otto Schwann's, Chad, give me a number.
Let's go 114.
114.
Rockin' Rebel. Oh, he's in line for a Hambone nomination.
Let's see, 114.
Stevie Richards. No,
Good catch.
yeah, 2001.
It's actually Kid Cash.
Mm. Well, what can you say bad about him, man?
I really enjoyed him. Yeah, I mean, he was actually, ironically, one of my favorite matches to watch.
It was bowed up. Sorry.
What?
It was bowed up.
All right, so Otto Schwanz is the guy that took Stacey Carter from Jerry Lawler.
Yes. That should have been in his bio. Good for him.
Right?
Anyway, go ahead.
Was that the kitty cat girl? Stacey?
Yeah.
Oh man, she was hot.
Yeah.
I got an autograph picture with her. I get all my pictures signed to jabronis because that's the name of the bar at my house, and I never want them to think that I'm going to like get their autographs to sell the picture.
Right.
So I always get it personalized to something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and everybody always tells me like, "Oh, that's awesome because you're not just coming here to get the thing signed so you can go ahead and sell it on eBay or something."
Right. Yeah, I always get mine personalized too.
So yeah, I got her picture. It's framed. It's in my bedroom. I think I don't know if it's hung up, but because I don't have any fucking room in my bedroom to hang anything yet. But yeah, I always thought she was fucking brutally hot, and clearly you know why she was with Lawler.
The push.
Well, the fact that yeah, he was taking care of her.
Yeah.
You know, she was what, in her 20s?
Oh yeah, easy, like early 20s.
And he was in his late 50s?
That's how Jerry rolled.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've come across, I'm not going to say any of them stories about Lawler was true, about the underage girls and all, but I came across a lot of women that became women when I worked down there that were with Lawler when they were younger. I don't know how much younger because they didn't tell me. I didn't ask. I didn't want to know. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were like, "Oh yeah, we follow you guys all around and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Go fucking figure. How do you fucking follow us around? Did you guys get a school bus? Like, did your parents bring you? Because I don't think any of y'all driving."
Not legally anyway.
what Heyman say to him on Raw? How you doing
How
at
are
the Seesaws in Memphis, Jerry?
Yeah. Double entendre there.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you can just imagine that Paul Lee could have a field day. You know, Paul Lee could have a field day with Lawler when it comes to that nonsense. Well, I mean, He don't have a fucking ironclad closet. Iron, door. There's enough fucking skeletons in that guy's closet, and there probably is legitimately skeletons. I'll tell you, man. I'll never forget that time where him and fucking Jason, the ham bonus man alive, when they got into a fight. I think it was in Hamburg. I swear to God, I think
the Hamburg.
I was gonna say full circle, baby.
I think it was, and it was basically the same time that Ian got fired, and Jason and Paul got into a fight, and the last thing that Jason was yelling to Paul was, "I hope you had a good time blowing the Grand Wizard." and the locker room just kind of was like, "What? What?" Like, I ain't never heard this story, nor do I want to fucking hear this story.
I don't even want to hear about it. But goddamn.
Yeah, the whole locker room was like, "Oh!" Everybody just kept like going down and relacing their boots again. Like, I'm not getting involved in this. We're already in Hambone. Good. So where we at?
That might be the best ending yelling of an argument I've ever heard.
Well, if that's it. That's it. I mean, we can go on and keep going. I mean, I don't have enough battery, but
no, I'm not saying the end of the show. I'm just saying, like, how, like, where do you come back from that? Like when somebody yells at you, like, "Hope you had fun blowing the Grand Wizard." Like, what's Paulie supposed to say? Like,
I'm
no matter how he responds, he admits that he did it.
Well, yeah, Aaron.
Like, even if he says, "I didn't enjoy it," it's like, "Whoa, you did it!" But then if he goes, "Yes, I did," it's like, "Whoa." So
I mean, at the end of the day, you're a quick-witted fellow, and you can come up with a response. But if you're confronted by the sexiest ham bone alive, and he tells you that he hopes you have fun blowing the Grand Wizard, and I even think he said in the woods. I mean, I'm not making that up, but I'm not 100% sure that he said that. But I swear to God, I heard. I hope you like blowing the Grand Wizard in the woods.
One night, Paulie just opened up to Jason about his past transgressions, and it came back to haunt him.
Oh, well, it's clear. It's clear that they had a past relationship of some sort. A friendship of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Because they probably all were sleeping with Maddie. So they probably all reconnected back at the hotel somewhere in New York. How do you like my anal? Oh my God! I hope nobody hears this. It's a good thing that I have no future plans on going back to work for anybody. Good God, I can't imagine walking into the locker room and was like, "What the fuck? How do you like my anal?"
You really said that?
So how was the Grand Wizard? Was Ernie hung?
I wish we could make that the name of this show. I know we can't. We Can't Wrestle podcast. Number, what is this?
144.
We Can't Wrestle podcast, number 144. How do you like my anal?
How do you like my anal, comma, ham bone?
Oh, that's just too much.
Damn.
Let's do a few more and then we'll call it quits. Aaron, give me a number.
137.
137, 2001 PWI 500. The Steven Richards.
That's someone we can talk about.
What number was it?
137, Steven Richards, or Stevie Richards. It's Steven Richards here because he's in the right to censor at this point.
Which I actually like.
Well,
I actually like the right to censor. I know people dog on it.
I can tell you one thing. Stevie was not a big fan of mine. Like, he didn't like me at all.
For any reason or
Well,
just because?
Well, no, I mean, I guess he had a right to, but I thought it was, like, good for business. That, he had that cracked orbital bone thing.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he was wearing that face shield?
Yeah.
Well, we worked a couple of shows together, and I took it upon myself. He's like, whatever you do, don't fucking hit me in the face or whatever. Like, fine. So, you know, I throw punches. I throw a lot of punches, but I don't hurt nobody. I'm kind of like Lawler when it comes to punches, you know, Bobby Eaton throwing punches.
Right.
And he got so pissed at me because I kept throwing punches at his goddamn stupid plastic fucking shield that we were going home for the finish, and it was the super kick. And you guys don't know because I guess you guys aren't in the ring, but you could tell when somebody's loading up. And he like shot me into the corner and it was like, come out for the super kick, and I could already tell that this is not going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I came out, and the dude fucking just took my fucking head off. And then he goes like, "Get up, take another one." Oh, jeez, whiz! Is it because of the goddamn plastic face shield thing? And I got up, I took it, like, you know. Mm-hmm. And afterwards, all I heard was him bitching in the locker room about not wanting to work with me anymore. And we had already worked like a bunch of times. But why wouldn't I take advantage? Why would I work the guy's arm if he has a bad?
Yeah. I mean, it's the gimmick.
You know, I'm thinking like, well, I'm a fucking fool if I don't work it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let me work. You know, I'm not going to hurt you. You know, but I guess he didn't think I was safe enough, or I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe he just felt maybe it was still too new, like the injury, that he didn't want to cause any damage. But I'm like, I am not going to hurt you. I've never hurt anybody in the business except for Hot Body, I think. But yeah, he never really, and he went on record as saying it a few times in like shoot interviews. If my name was brought up, like that he just didn't like working with me and blah blah blah, and that's fine. First of all, we didn't have chemistry to begin with, so it wasn't like it was any fucking. It wasn't killing me. Like whatever, because I'd rather not work with you if you don't work with me. I'd rather work with somebody that I can work with,
right?
Not somebody that wants me to do, you know, their match. I'd rather do our match. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah,
I never told anybody, "Oh, I'm going to do this, and this," and then another guy goes, "Well, what can I do my stuff?" And then, all right, well, whatever, we'll get it in. You know, I never did that. Like, what do you want to do? Give me your best 3 or 4 moves. You know.
Well, and not being a worker myself, I would think that would be the best way to have a good match. You know, I mean, you're essentially wrestling is the only sport where the two guys that are against each other are actually a team. If that makes sense. And yeah, and you would think that somebody would want to, like you said, what do you do? What are your best 4 moves? Let's have the best match we can. So being uncooperative to me seems counterproductive.
It's funny that how I just explained that was the same thing that I overheard Eddie Guerrero talking to that Maryland kid that he worked, that he said was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Because he literally was like, I mean, I heard this before, Eddie, but I never applied it. That was like, hey, tell me your best 4 moves. And then we'll incorporate that in the match. And if I know your best 4 moves, I can call them for you when the time is right, kind of thing. But that's when I was like, that's smart. I heard it before, but I never used it because I always just been like, all right, well, either if we don't call it in the ring, just, but I was not a big fan of having to go over the match,
Right.
in the locker room a bazillion times because I wasn't going to remember it. And then what if you got heat? What if you didn't get heat,
Mm-hmm.
So how do you change it?
Right.
I did it a lot of times. And I worked for this company in West Virginia, Atlantic Terror Championship Wrestling. I don't know. It was an outlaw mud show company, but they ran pretty much every week in like Martinsburg, West Virginia. And I would go there, and them guys loved working with me. The guys that owned the company, because it was always easy. Because it wasn't like, they knew I wasn't going to hurt them, and there was no chance they were going to hurt me.
Right.
So if they were calling something like Philly, whatever, I go, that's not happening. You better come up with something better than that. Like, I wasn't taking a hoopy driver from some guy who was the 7th match. Like, I don't know what we're talking about. But that's not happening. And I'm like, well, how about this? How about I just punch you?
Aaron? Oh, no. Aaron, you gave me the last number, didn't you? Chad, give me another number. We'll do 2 more, and then we'll sign off.
I hope my battery lasts. How about 127?
127 is Val Venus. Val Venus.
Shane Morley or Val Venus?
Val Venus.
Oh.
At this point, he is, founded with the Good Father and Bull Buchanan in Right to Censor and Steven Richards. That's pretty much all they say about him at this point. So yeah, he was doing the Right to Censor thing at this point.
If there's ever a gimmick that hurt a guy, I think it's that one.
Yeah, I agree. I totally think that they killed him because he had
that porn star gimmick. Like, what else were you gonna do with it? And then, like, after you do it, what else can you do with it? You know what I mean? And the dude was fucking uber talented, I think. And
I think so too. I agree. I don't know what happened. I followed him in Ozark Mountain. Like when he was working for Burt as Sean Morley.
Yeah. And
literally Cactus Jack was there too. And as soon as they left is when I came in. So that was how Burt was gaining steam for Ozark Mountain. Like, because he already had Cactus Jack, blah, blah, blah. And then after I saw him, I kind of was like, this guy's pretty talented. And then I went back home, and then I started taking some dates in New Jersey and all. And Al Snow took a liking to him. And Al Snow started pitching to everybody like a house show match. How about you to book me against Sean Morley at every show? And we were on a boardwalk in Atlantic City, and I watched him. I'm like, that guy's good. That guy's really good. But yeah, he was kind of like the Val Venus character was okay. It was fine and all, but it didn't showcase how good he could work.
Yeah, and it's like I say this to Nate every once in a while. Like when like say somebody that doesn't know anything about wrestling, you ask them, hey, draw me a wrestler. They're going to draw you somebody like looks like Sid Vicious or looks like Lex Luger. Sean Morley's almost in that category too. Like, that dude was built. He looked good. He could work. I never really saw him have a bad match, but that fucking gimmick they gave him, it's just saddled him right out the bat. It's like,
it didn't do any favors.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know I walked away for a second right when you made your point, but that's what I was going to say. It's unfortunately for him, because of the Attitude Era, in that respect, his career, he's kind of a fly in the Vaseline because he got stuck, by being saddled with that gimmick, he couldn't come above it, I guess.
Yeah, like a porn star is never going to be the WWF champion. You know what I mean?
Right.
And once your gimmick is that you're a fucking porn star, what else are you gonna do after that? It's like that was one of the, I don't want to say worst gimmicks because it got kind of over because people reacted to it and shit. But it was
I didn't like it.
It was one of the examples of Vince Russo being just like short-sighted. Like, okay, you have this fucking guy, but you're just gonna give him this fucking one-dimensional gimmick that isn't gonna go any further than the middle of the card. Sean Morley should have been. I'm not saying he should have been WWF champion or anything, but he should have been a bigger star than what he was.
Yeah, and the right to censor gimmick didn't help him out any either.
No.
It kind of solidified him as the middle of the pack.
Aaron, give me another number.
Or is this the last one?
We're going to do one more from you and one more from Chad.
All right.
If my phone lasts.
185.
185. Brian Adams.
Oh, I love fucking Summer of '69. Was that him? Was it was it the Boys in Summer or Summer of '69?
I think this is the year he got his first real six string.
Was it? He got
a five and dime. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys did that in stereo. That was fantastic.
So Brian Adams would be what? Who later became?
He later, after this, he became dead. But before this, he was Crush. Well, fuck, he did.
That's a little harsh.
Let's see what his bio says in 2001. He and Brian Clark lost their second WCW World Tag Team title to the Great Muta and Vampiro in August 2000. After that, Chronic was chronically absent from tag title matches. He and Clark used the High Times, a double choke slam, best known for his WrestleMania 10 Falls Count Anywhere match against Randy Savage at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, I'm sure he was. I'm sure that put him on the map of wrestling. I actually liked his program at Yokozuna.
I did. And you know what? I actually liked his program with Evil Doink. Honestly, and that's not even a joke. Like, I actually liked that rivalry.
Yeah, I don't remember too much about that, but yeah, I mean, he had his moments. He was really awful in Portland.
Yeah, the build up to the match WrestleMania 10 with Savage wasn't bad. That was actually good. The match was just terrible.
Well, he couldn't do anything, and then you put him in the ring with a guy that can't do anything either. What are you going to get?
Well, it was one of those stupid falls count anywhere where you pin the guy and then he has a 10 count to get back to the ring, and yeah, that was doomed from the beginning.
Let's do this. Unless we got anything else on Brian Adams.
Nope.
Before Chad picks his number, Nate, you pick a number. You haven't picked a number.
I'm gonna pick 418.
All right.
Oh boy.
418.
What's his name?
418 is a gentleman. I don't know if he's a gentleman or not because I never heard of him, but his name is Poison.
Oh boy.
First name box office.
That's not Wolfie, is it?
Belle Biv DeVoe. Now you know. No, based in England's Brawl, BRAWL, an affiliate of the Allied Independent Wrestling Federation.
Oh, him and Abe Pagoda, tag team champion, and they got to fucking defend the belts against Slimmy Bell Bottoms and
Jake Jackson.
Yeah. Get out of here.
He dominated his feud with Steven Niles. Good for him. Feuded with wrestlers on both continents, including Body Count, Mr. Nothing, and the Coal Miners.
Well, Mr. Nothing, that's got to be a fucking high dollar program. I mean, you talk about like the name game where you put it on the marquee, whether it's The Rock versus Mr. Nobody. That's almost guaranteed to not sell tickets.
The only feud you could have better than with Mr. Nothing is with Mr. Everything, I guess. So yeah, I didn't have a good pick there.
Mr. Everything?
Do another one. Do another one.
All right, one more, and then we'll have Chad, and then we'll sign off. So Chad's phone doesn't die. All right, I'll pick 322. Let me flip to it. 322. I've heard this name before, and I bet Chad knows this guy because he competes primarily in Maryland Championship Wrestling. It's Keenan Creed.
Oh, a Maryland guy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. He's one of my favorite opponents. I used to love working him, except for the fact that he was one of them guys that he had to go over every single spot.
Mm.
You know, It was a big dance routine to him. And I remember one time where we were doing the show and we had the Insane Clown Posse. Like they weren't booked on the show. They were in town. And me and Keenan were going over our match in the hallway. And their entourage came walking past. And we're like clearing the hallway. Like there was a ton of people in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
It was me and Keenan. And we didn't give a shit. And they came walking in and we were just like, who the fuck are these guys? And they were like, it's the Insane Clown Posse. And we're like, again, who the fuck are these guys? You know? I mean,
that's
the
ICP. That's the joke. That's the joke I was going to make when Chad said the ICP weren't booked on the show. They just were in. They were in town. I was like, isn't that how they got? I was going to say, isn't that how they got on most wrestling shows?
Yeah, they paid themselves. They literally didn't ask. They never got paid. All they wanted to be was on the show. And we were just, me and Keenan were like going through our match. And they come walking down the hallway, shooing us to the side. And as a matter of fact, it comes up as a memory of mine on Facebook. A me and Keenan match that somebody had posted on YouTube. And I usually share it because I think it's when I became more of a comedy wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing all the silly stuff, all the silly bumps, all that kind of stuff. And I always had good chemistry with Keenan. It's just the fact that I didn't like the fact that he had to call everything ahead of time.
Do you think there's a reason he didn't make it big? Because this thing even says he was included in the annual Indy 30 listings of the top 30 prospects on the independent circuit. Do you think was there something that held him back from breaking out?
Yeah, I think it was. If I had to guess and pinpoint it, I would say it was probably something job related.
Okay.
Because he may have had a job with the government or some sort or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, he was getting too big to, high profile, so to speak. And he had to take time off. So when he took time off, it hindered him in a sense because I believe he won one of our Shane Shamrock Cups in Maryland. Like we have a tournament every year for the best of the junior heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
And because the guy that died, Shane Shamrock, was the guy it was named after, and we had a tournament after him, and I believe Keenan won one of them because I think there's a picture of all of us that was in the tournament.
Well, yeah, his bio on this 500 from 2001 actually says recently competed in the Shamrock Cup tournament where he was pinned by Joey Matthews, the eventual winner in the 6-man elimination final. So there you go.
Well, that makes sense because it probably meant that he came back and won either the next year or the year after.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm glad my second pick resulted in a conversation because the first pick was garbage. Chad, I'm going to give you the.
This can't work. Not that he can't work. I just don't think that he can work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For reasons.
Chad, I'm going to give you the last pick of the show. Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
You still there?
I was going to say, talking about ICP. I love when Mike Awesome just drops Shaggy 2 Dope off that bus.
And then he slides off of it.
Yeah, he just drops that fucking dupe on his fucking head. It's great. He gave no shits about Shaggy 2 Dope. He was just like, boof, whatever happens, happens.
And then in your head, you just hear as he slides down the side of that bus.
Yeah. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I hate ICP.
The ICP were terrible. I mean, they were beyond terrible. They were like worse than Bruiser Bedlam wrestling terrible.
Where Nate and I grew up, we were like a stone's throw away from fucking Detroit. So everybody was talking how great their music was and everything. It's like, no, these guys fucking suck.
My first job was at a music store in Toledo, Ohio, and they came in at some point to do an autograph signing at the store, and they were assholes, and their music was garbage, and they were garbage people to deal with. So
yeah. They look like they smell like piss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they weren't very hygienic. Especially with stuff. Like they were all idiots. and they legitimately had a big gigantic tour bus. Because we all went back on a tour bus and we all like got high and shit like that. But other than that, they were awful. And watching fucking Shaggy Boom Booms do the fucking leg drop off the top rope, whatever his leg drop was, it was despicable.
I love that. It's despicable. Despicable. That's the perfect adjective.
Yeah, because nobody's ever gonna recreate the Bobby Eaton like leg drop. Like I've tried it and I could almost do it, but I couldn't do it nowhere near as good as Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
And he did the deal where he would just jump up straight leg and land on you, and it looked ridiculous and pitiful, and
When
you almost
Shaggy-
wonder why you sell it.
When Shaggy 2 Dope did it, it was the burger eating leg drop.
It was the boom boom eating.
So we'll give Chad the last pick, and then we'll sign off here. One more number, Mr.
Let's
Austin.
go with the almighty 3. Did we do 316?
All right, 316. Let's see if we round out with anybody that any of us have any clue who the fuck it is. 316. Anybody know Scott Bishop?
No.
Who?
Scott Bishop.
Oh,
my God.
Lord. Oh, good Lord.
At this point, the fact that none of us know who he is crazy because he's been in the ring for 20 years.
Sure he was.
Just because he's been in the ring, just because he's worked for 20 years doesn't mean he's worked for 20 years. He's only had 10 fucking matches.
I mean, look at how good QT Marshall is, and he's been in the business 20 years.
Touche.
I mean, I'm not saying QT Marshall can't work, but he's also a trainer. And, you know what I mean? Like, So what? You were in NXT like 8 years ago or something, and they got rid of you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who this guy is, and it's funny to me that how biased the after magazines are when it comes to these people, because it's all like East Coast people. And that's the shows that Bill went to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you sidled up to Bill, you know, and you became friends with Bill, there's a good chance you're going to be in the 500 somewhere. I didn't. I treated Bill like I respected Bill because I like talking old school wrestling with him. And I never thought for 1 second that put me in the 500 because I never made it. And you know, and the 1 year where Donnie Allen was like 500. Kind of thing. I was like, well, I'm kind of a little bit offended because I was still kind of getting the push then, or what was it, 94, 95, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I'm kind of a little offended because it seems sexy, you know,
Right.
to put Donnie Allen in. You know, because he was like, everybody knew he got beat up every single week. But Stephen Bishop, whatever his name is, the fucking kings, the queens, the fucking pawns. I don't know that. I don't know that fucking guy from Shaggy Boom Bottoms, whatever his name is.
I love how the name has evolved as the show is going on.
Well, who was number one?
Who the fuck knows this? Who the fuck's ever gonna know this guy's name? I just love the fact that Aaron said that he's gonna be a tag team with Mr. Ooh La La. Dude, I'm going to have nightmares about that.
Aaron said who was number one. Number one in 2001, Kurt Angle.
Well, I mean, how can you argue?
And number two was Steve Austin, and that makes sense because those two had the best matches of 2001. So there you go.
And
The best chemistry of 2001.
And that's when he came back, right? Austin?
No, yeah. Because he had come back in late 2000.
Was that when he was heel, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Kurt and Steve had the best chemistry in 2001, too. I think. They're little, like, both of them were fucking hurt, and they were still fucking...
the most entertaining thing on the
show.
With the little cowboy hat and the thing that's great about that is that feud, and Chad, you can tell me if I'm wrong or if you agree or what have you, but the rivalry between Angle and Austin is how you properly use comedy in wrestling, because there was comedic aspects to it, but when it came down to the actual fight, the actual, you know, we're going to get in the ring and have a match, the physicality comes into play. Like, they never lost themselves, their characters into the comedy, if that makes sense.
I mean, well, let's be honest. Who was a greater fit for pro wrestling when they broke in than Kurt Angle? Who took to it like Kurt Angle did? I don't know. I mean, you can arguably say Ronda, but Ronda was nowhere near as smooth as Kurt Angle was.
Or Brock.
Well, Brock also had the benefit of dealing with Cornette.
True.
So he had that in his back pocket as far as, you know, like learning the business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Kurt. There was nobody better than Kurt. I mean, nobody took to that job better than Kurt did.
All right, guys. Let's put a bow on this shit. Want to thank everybody for joining us, and thank Chad for joining us here.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
Thank you all for drinking with us and hanging out with us.
My new mission in life. My new mission now is to track down the actual Silky Boom Boom.
And to track down the actual.
It's my new mission. I want to track him down, and I want to interview him.
Silky Boom Boom?
Yes.
I'll get on it.
I want to track down Silky Boom Boom, and I want to interview him and ask him about all the aspects of his career. I don't know what happened to Chad.
I don't either. That's okay. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Chad Austin, thank you for joining us. We'll try to connect with him when we sign off for this edition of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. It became more than I thought it was going to be because we had no idea what we were going to do going into it. But sometimes that's the best shows. So, Aaron, thank you for joining me. Chad Austin, thank you for joining me. And we'll see you next time, everybody, on the We Can't Wrestle podcast. The We Can't Wrestle podcast is a production of Maxin' Out Media. All rights reserved.